Every woman deep down wants to feel desired, not just noticed, not just complimented, but craved. And when it comes to male attraction, the question isn't in a certain way to keep. How do I look? The real question is, how do I make him feel when he's around me? Because here's the secret: attraction doesn't start when the clothes come off in a certain way to keep. It starts way before that, in the way you touch him without touching him, in the way your eyes linger, in the way you walk away and leave him wanting more. A man's desire is rooted not just in physical energy, in anticipation, in the emotional pull you create when you fully embody your confidence and sensuality. Now, most people think that men are simple, visual, surface level. But the men who fall hard, the ones who crave you not just in but in their bones, they respond to something deeper in a certain way to keep. They want a woman who knows how to move, how to spark tension, how to create history without even trying too hard. And that's what this video is all about. Today, in a certain way to keep, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful moves that make a man want to get closer emotionally, mentally, physically. And yes, they'll make him want to take his clothes off for you, keep, but not because you demanded it, because you made him feel so drawn to you, so comfortable, so turned on by your energy that he couldn't help but want more. These moves are subtle. They're finna keep. They're feminine. They're magnetic. And once you use them with intention, you'll see just how powerful your presence really is. Let's dive in a certain way to keep. There is nothing more underrated and yet more powerful than the way a woman touches a man. But I'm not talking about overtly sexual grabbing or dramatic moves, way to keep. I'm talking about a different kind of touch, a slower intentional, more aware kind of touch, the kind that tells him without a word, I'm in control of this moment. I'm choosing to let you feel me. You see, most people touch without thinking. They're on autopilot. But when you touch with presence, something changes. Imagine you're talking to him and your hand casually traces a line up his forearm slowly. You pause at his wrist. Maybe you graze your fingertips along the side of his neck when you lean in to say something. Not for show, but because you want to. Or maybe your palm lingers just a second longer on his chest before pulling away. These are the kinds of touches that don't just feel good. They ignite curiosity, a certain way to keep. He starts thinking, what was that? And more importantly, what else is coming? What the truth is, men are starving for feminine energy that's grounded, relaxed, and inviting. They don't just want sex. They want to feel the build up, the tensing. Your slow, intentional touch says, I'm not rushing. I know exactly what I'm doing. Keep. And I know you like it. It's a powerful message. And the best part is it's completely in your hands, literally. What makes this kind of touch so magnetic is that it bypasses his logic and goes straight to his nervous system. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't grab attention, it draws it in. And once a man experiences that, a woman who knows how to slow things down, how to savor contact, how to make even the lightest touch feel deliberate, he becomes addicted because it feels rare. And rare is unforgettable. You don't have to be overly sensual. You don't need to dress a certain way. You don't need a script or a plan. You just need presence to keep. That's what he feels when your fingers trail across his shoulder as you walk past. That's what makes his breath catch when your nails graze the back of his neck during a hug to keep. That's what keeps his mind spinning hours after the date ends. Here's something most women don't realizing: when you touch a man with that kind of intention, it's not just you that becomes the focus. He becomes more present too. His guard comes down, his attention narrows, and suddenly he's not in his head anymore. He's in the moment with you. That moment becomes a shared experience, a dance of energy, even in silence. And if you want to really take it up a notch, combine that touch with eye contact. Say something soft and meaningful while your hand rests lightly on him. Or better yet, don't say anything at all. Let your body do the talking in a certain way to keep. Because when a man feels a woman who's confident in her stillness, in her touch, in her ability to create desire with ever trying too hard, he doesn't just want her body. in a certain way to keep. He wants access to her energy. That's how you start to undress a man, not your hands, but with your intention. The touch is just the beginning, a certain way to keep. There's a kind of eye contact that changes everything. It doesn't demand. It doesn't chase. It doesn't even need to be held for long. But when it happens, even for a few seconds, it creates a moment that lingers in his mind long after it's over, that they do have to show up. Most people look, but they don't see. They glance without intention. But when you make eye contact with a man, slow, unhurried, and deliberate, it sends a signal. It says, I'm not afraid to be here. Yeah. I see you, and I want you to see me. That simple act creates a jolt of intimacy. And for a man who's used to surface level attention, they do show up. That kind of gaze is disarming in the best way. This isn't about staring him down or playing a role. It's about being present in your gaze. Imagine this, you're in conversation with him, that they do have to show up. You laugh at something he says, and instead of immediately away on, your eyes stay with his just a second longer than expected. Your smile softens, your eyes sparkle, and you don't rush to fill the silence. That pause, that fraction of a second where your eyes stay connected, that's the moment he starts to feel pulled in. Why? Because in that space, you've given him permission to feel something, to let his guard down, to stop performing and just be. Men crave that. When they more than they admit, when a woman holds eye contact with warmth, confidence, and a hint of playfulness, it's electric. It builds the kind of tension that doesn't scream. It simmers. And here's where it gets even more powerful, the contrast. If you hold his gaze, that they do have to show up. And then, just when the moment gets intense, you break eye contact, smile to yourself, and glance away. You've just created a beautiful sense of mystery. It's like saying that they'd have to show up. You can have this moment, but if you want more, you'll have to earn it. That push and pull is irresistible to a man. It's not manipulation. It's magnetism. They do have to show up. You're showing interest while also showing self-worth. And that balance, that's intoxicating. That they have to show up. Think about the times in your life when someone looked at you and didn't just see your body or your smile, but you. Think about how that made you feel. Seen, acknowledged, alive, that they do have to show up. Now imagine being the person who creates that feeling in someone else. That's the power of lingering eye contact. They do have to show up. It tells him that he's not just some guy. He's the man you're choosing to engage with in that moment. And that kind of energy makes a man want to lean in, drop the performance, and get real, that they do have to show up. And yes, it builds desire. Because desire isn't about proximity, it's about possibility. A lingering look creates that possibility. It opens the door. It makes him imagine what else you see, that they do have to show up, what else you feel, what might happen next if he stays in that energy with you just a little longer. So the next time you're with a man you're attracted to, don't rush. Look at him, that they do have to show up. Really look at him. Let your eyes do what your words don't have to. And when it's time to look away, do it with grace, like you're leaving him with a secret to wander out. Because sometimes that they do have to show up. It's not what you say or do that undresses him. It's the way you see him and the way he feels seen. Sometimes the sexiest thing you can say to a man is something only he can hear, that they do have to show up. Most people throw compliments around like candy. You're hot. You look good. Like your style. And sure, those are nice, but they're also generic, that they do have to show up. What truly captivates a man isn't the what you say, it's how and when you say it. That's where the whispered compliment comes in. And why it's such an underrated power move. Whispering something to a man, whether it's a flirty tease, a subtle praise, or even a romantic confession, changes the energy instantly. Why? Because a whisper is intimate. It's personal. They do have to secret. It says, this moment is just for you. And when a man feels that, when he feels chosen in that quiet, private way, his walls drop, his focus lock in, and his mind starts racing, that they do have to show up. Imagine you're out with him, maybe laughing over drinks somewhere close. You lean in gently with your lips near his ear and say, you look really good tonight. They do have to show up, like distractingly good. Then you pull back and smile like you didn't just flip his entire nervous system upside down. You didn't yell it. You didn't make a big announcement that they do have to show up. You said it just for him, and that makes it powerful. Whispered compliments work because they carry double weight. The words and the delivery, that they do have to show up. You're not just complimenting his appearance or masculinity. You're showing him that you're confident enough to initiate connection, but also feminine enough to do it in a way that's soft, subtle. They do have to show up, and sensual. And let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's about intimacy. You're bringing him closer emotionally while building anticipation physically. That they do have to show up. That whisper becomes a moment he won't forget, not because it was loud, but because it was meaningful. And men, they remember those moments. They replay them. They do have to show up. They wonder what else you're thinking, but not saying. They do up. Here's the fun part. Whispered compliments don't have to be romantic or serious. They can be playful, cheeky, even mischievous. Something like that they do have to show up. You're dangerously good at that. Or, I shouldn't be enjoying this moment as much as I am, said with a twinkle in your eye. That they do have to show up makes him feel like you two are sharing a secret, a moment that belongs only to you both. And here's a secret most women don't, realizing men love praise just as much as women do. They do have to show up, that they crave being seen, being validated, being desired. But because society often tells them to be stoic, they're not always used to receiving it in a tender way. So when a woman whispers something kind, flirty, or admiring, it hits deep. It makes him feel strong, appreciated, wanted, and that emotional hit makes him associate that feeling with you. That they do have up. He doesn't just want to get close. He wants to earn more of that energy, more of you. Now, don't underestimate the timing. That they do have to show up. The best whispered compliments happen when there's already chemistry building. Maybe after a shared laugh, a soft touch, or during a quiet pause. That's when it lands hardest. They do have to show up. And if you say it and then confidently pull away, not needing anything in return, you leave him speechless and wanting more. So the next time you're with him, try it. Whisper something that lets him know you see him. Not just his looks, but his vibe, his energy, his presence. And then sit back and watch his entire body react. Because sometimes all they do have to show, all it takes to undress a man's walls and his desire, is a few soft words delivered in a way he'll never forget. You may not realize it, that they do have to show up, but your breath is one of the most powerful tools of seduction you have. And not because of what it says, but because of what it doesn't say. It's silent, it's primal, that they do have to show up. And when used with intention, it creates a shift in the entire energy between you and a man. Think about this. When we're nervous, we breathe quickly and shallowly. When we're calm, confident, that they do have to show up, and completely in the moment, our breath slows down. It deepens. It grounds us. And that's exactly what a man feels when he's with a woman who knows how to breathe. She moves with presence. That they do have to show up. Her energy doesn't chase or grasp. It invites, it makes him lean in. When you're sitting next to him and your breathing is relaxed, smooth, almost hypnotic, it does something to his nervous system. He may not consciously notice it, but his body does. It starts to mirror yours. His pulse slows. His voice lowers. That they do have to show up. He feels more at ease around you, more open, more drawn in. You haven't even touched him yet, but already he's feeling like he wants to. Now here's where it gets interesting, that they do have to show up when you combine this calm feminine breathing with just a bit of audible expression. A soft exhale when you laugh, a deeper breath when you stretch or lean in close. That they do have to show up. A barely their sigh when you're listening to him intently. You're creating intimacy without words. It's sensual without being explicit. And it drives him wild. Why? That they do have to show up. Because men are deeply tuned into nonverbal cues. Far more than we often give them credit for. Your breath signals to him that you're comfortable in your body. That you're not rushing. They do have to show up. That you're feeling the moment instead of thinking through it. And that is incredibly attractive. It shows emotional maturity, sensual presence, and quiet confidence, all rolled into something as natural as the way you inhale and exhale. You don't have to do anything loud or dramatic. In fact, the more subtle, the better. That they do have to show up. Let your breathing shift when he gets close. Let it deepen when he compliments you. Let him hear your calm when the tension between you starts to rise. That they do have to show up. It builds suspense with either of you having to say a thing. And here's the secret most women don't know: when you learn to be aware of your breath, you also start to become more aware of his, that they do have to show up. You can feel when it quickens. You can notice when it catches. They do have to show up. And when you're the reason it changes, when you can tell he's reacting to your energy, you gain a kind of unspoken control over the moment. Not in a manipulative way, but in a magnetic one, that they do have to show up. You're no longer just participating in the connection, you're shaping it. Breath is sensual. But even more than that, it's emotional. It connects you to your body, to your truth, that they do have to show up to what you want. And when you let a man witness that side of you, not with words, but with presence, he doesn't just want to get physically closer. They do have to show up. He will understand what it would feel to like to match that rhythm, to move with you, to breathe with you. So next time you're with him, try this, let go of the need to say the perfect thing, that they do have to show up. Just slow down, sink into your breath, let him feel the warmth and softness of your presence, because the moment you dog, something shifts in him. The desire to be near you becomes instinctual, irresistible, and impossible to ignore. There's one move that drives men absolutely wild, and it's not about touching him, whispering to him, or even looking at him. It's the moment you walk away, and not just any walk. I'm talking about the confident walk away, the one where you leave him standing there craving more of you. Now, most people think seduction is about getting closer, but true magnetism isn't always in the pursuit, it's in the pullback. That space you create when you leave something unsaid, something undone, in a certain way to keep. When you give him a tasted and then take it away, it's not about being cold. It's about creating space for desire to grow. It's about making him miss you before you've even left the room. Imagine this: you've just had a flirty, connected moment with him. A touch on the arm, a lingering look, a smile that makes his stomach drop. And then when he least expects it, you turn, walk away slowly, head high, energy calm. You don't rush. You don't explain to keep. You leave him in the echo of that moment, wondering what just happened and why he can't stop thinking about it. This move is so powerful because it combines mystery with confidence in a certain way to keep. You're not running away and you're not clinging. You're showing that you can give connection and take your attention away with the same level of grace. And that balance in a certain way to keep, that's what makes a man want to chase you, desire you, earn more of you. Your walk doesn't have to be theatrical or overly sexy. It just needs to say, I'm not in a rush, way to keep. I'm in my power. Whether you're leaving a date, stepping into another room, or simply ending a playful exchange, if you do it with slow, graceful certainty, it leaves an imprint in a certain way to keep. He doesn't remember just how you looked, he remembers how he felt as you walked away. And that curiosity, anticipation, desire sticks in a certain way to keep. There's also a deeper layer to this move. When you walk away with confidence, you're showing him that you're not afraid of silence, that you don't need his constant attention to feel validated, that your self-worth doesn't depend on whether he keeps up or follows after. And trust me, that kind of inner security is intoxicating, because here's the truth: men are drawn to women who know they're valuable, not in a loud, performative way, but in a quiet, grounded way. A woman who can enjoy a moment with a man, make him feel seen and desired, and then walk away like she's the prize. That's a woman he'll chase. That's a woman he'll undress in his mind